The Great Bible, the Book of Job, the first chapter. In the land of Hus there was a man whose name was Job, and the same was a perfect and just man, such a one as feared God and eschewed evil. And he had 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so that he was one of the most principal men among all them of the east country. And his sons went and made banquets, one day in one house, another day in another, and sent for their 3 sisters, to eat and drink with them. And it fortuned that when they had passed over the time of their banqueting round about, Job sent for them, and sanctified them, and gat up early, and offered for every one a burnt offering. For Job said, Lest peradventure my sons have done some offense, and have been unthankful to God in their hearts. Thus did Job every day, and upon a day when the children of God came and stood before the Lord, it fortuned that Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? Satan answered the Lord, and said, I have gone about the land, and walked through it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou not considered my servant Job, how that there is none like him in the land, a perfect and a just man, such a one as feareth God, and escheweth evil? Satan answered and said unto the Lord, Doth Job fear God for naught? Hast thou not preserved him, and his house, and all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the works of his hands, and his possession is increased in the land. But lay thine hand now upon him a little, and touch all that he hath, and he shall curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Lo, all that he hath be in thy power. Only upon himself see that thou lay not thine hand. And Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. And upon a certain day it fortuned that his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job, and said, While the oxen were a-plowing, and the asses going in the pasture beside them, the Sabaeans came in violently, and took them away. Yea, they have slain thy servants with the edge of the sword, and I only ran my way to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came another, and said, The fire of God is fallen from heaven, and hath burnt up all thy sheep and servants, and consumed them. And I only ran my way to tell thee. And while he was yet speaking, there came another, and said, The Chaldeans made 3 armies, and fell in upon the camels, and have carried them away, yea, and slain thy servants with the sword, and I only am gotten away to tell thee. And while he was yet speaking, there came another, and said, Thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a mighty great wind out of the south, and smote the 4 corners of the house, which fell upon thy children, and they are dead, and I am gotten away alone to tell thee. Then Job stood up, and rent his clothes, and shaved his head, fell down upon the ground, worshipped, and said, Naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I turn thither again. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Even as it hath pleased the Lord, so is it come to pass. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all these things did Job not offend, nor murmured foolishly against God. The second chapter. And the children of God came and stood before the Lord, and Satan came also among them, and stood before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? Satan answered the Lord, and said, I have gone about the land, and walked through it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou not considered my servant Job? For there is none like him in the land. For he is a perfect and just man, such a one as feareth God, and escheweth evil, and continueth still in his godliness. And thou movedst me against him, that I should punish him for naught. And Satan answered the Lord, and said, Skin for skin? Yea, a man will give all that ever he hath for his life. But lay thine hand now upon him, and touch once his bone and flesh, and he shall curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Lo, there hast thou him in thy power, but spare his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with marvelous sore biles, from the sole of his foot unto his crown, so that he sat upon the ground in the ashes, and scraped off the filth of his sores with a potsherd. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou continue yet in thy perfectness? Curse God, and die. But Job said unto her, Thou speakest like a foolish woman. Shall we receive prosperity at the hand of God, and not receive adversity? In all these things did not Job sin with his lips. Now when Job's friends heard of all the trouble that happened unto him, there came 3 of them, every one from his own place, namely, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Suhite, and Zophar the Naamatite. And they were agreed together to come, to show their compassion upon him, and to comfort him. So when they lift up their eyes afar off, they knew him not. Then they cried and wept, and every one of them rent his clothes, and sprinkled dust upon their heads in the air. They sat them down by him also upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights. Neither was there any of them that spake one word unto him, for they saw that his pain was very great. The 3rd chapter. After this opened Job his mouth, and cursed his day. And Job answered and said, Lost be that day wherein I was born, and the night in the which it was said, There is a man-child conceived. The same day be turned to darkness, and not regarded of God from above. Neither let him shine upon it with light, but let it be stained with darkness, and the shadow of death. Let the dim cloud fall upon it, and let it be lapped in with sorrow on the daytime. Let the dark storm overcome that night, and let it not be joined unto the days of the year, nor counted in the months. Desolate be that night, and without gladness. Let them that curse the day, and that be ready to raise up mourning, give it also their curse. Let the stars of that night be dim through darkness of it. Let it look for light, but let it see none. Neither the rising up of the fair morning, because it shut not up the womb that bare me. For then should these sorrows have been hid from mine eyes. Alas, why died I not in the birth? Why did not I perish as soon as I came out of my mother's womb? Why set they me upon their knees? Why gave they me suck with their breasts? Then should I now have lain still. I should have slept and been at rest, like as the kings and lords of the earth, which have builded themselves special places, or as the princes that have had great substance of gold, and their houses full of silver? Or why was I not hid, as a thing born out of time, either as young children which never saw the light? There must the wicked cease from their tyranny, and there such as are overlabored be at rest. There are those let out free, which have been in prison, so that they hear no more the voice of the oppressor. There are small and great, and the servant is free from his master. Wherefore is the light given to him that is in misery, and life unto them that have heavy hearts, which long for death, and though it come not, would dig it out of hid places, which also would be exceeding glad and rejoice, if they could find their grave anywhere. That should be joy to that man, whose way is hid, and God keepeth it back from him. For my sighs come before I eat, and my roarings fall out like the water. For the thing that I feared is come upon me, and the thing that I was afraid of is happened unto me. Was I not happy? Had I not quietness? Was I not in rest? And now cometh such misery upon me. The 4th chapter. And Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, If we begin to commune with thee, wilt thou be discontent? But who can withhold himself from speaking? Behold, thou hast been a chastener of many, and hast comforted the weary hands. Thy words have set up those that were fallen. Thou hast refreshed the weak knees. But now that the plague is come upon thee, thou art grieved. Now that it hath touched thyself, thou art faint-hearted. Is not this thy fear, thy steadfastness, thy patience, and the perfectness of thy ways? Consider, I pray thee, whoever perished being an innocent, or when were the godly destroyed? For, as I have proved by experience, they that plough iniquity and sow wretchedness reap the same. With the blast of God they perish, and with the breath of his nostrils are they consumed away. The roaring of the lion, and the voice of the lion, and the teeth of the lion's whelps are pulled out. The lion perisheth for lack of prey, and the lion's whelps are scattered abroad. And unto me came the word secretly, and mine ear hath received a little thereof. In the thoughts and visions of the night, when sleep cometh on men, fear came upon me, and dread, which made all my bones to shake. The wind passed by before my presence, and made the hairs of my flesh to stand up. He stood there, and I knew not his face. An image there was before mine eyes, and in the stillness heard I a voice. Shall man be more just than God? Or shall a man be purer than his Maker? Behold, he found no truth in his servants, and in his angels there was folly. How much more in them that dwell in houses of clay, and whose foundation is but dust, which shall be consumed as it were with a moth? They shall be smitten from the morning unto the evening, yea, they shall perish for ever, when no man thinketh thereon. Is not their royalty gone away with them? They shall die truly, and not in wisdom. The 5th chapter. Cry, I pray thee, if haply there be any that will answer thee, and look thou upon any of the holy men. As for the foolish man, displeasure killeth him, and anger slayeth the ignorant. I have seen myself, when the foolish was deep-rooted, and suddenly I cursed his habitation. His children were without prosperity, and they were slain in the gate, and there was no man to deliver them. His harvest was eaten up of the hungry, and the weaponed man spoiled it, and the thirsty drunk up their labor. It is not the earth that bringeth forth iniquity, neither cometh sorrow out of the ground, but man is born unto labor, like as the sparks fly up out of the hot coals. But I will ask counsel at the Lord, and will talk with God, which doth things that are unsearchable, and marvels without number. He giveth rain upon the earth, and poureth water upon the streets, to set up them that be of low degree, and that those which are in heaviness may come to prosperity. He destroyeth the devices of the subtle, so that their hands are not able to perform any steadfast thing. He compasseth the wise in their own craftiness, and overthroweth the counsel of the wicked, insomuch that they run into darkness by fair day, and grope about them at the noonday, like as in the night. He shall deliver the poor from the sword, and from the threatenings of the ungodly, and from the violence of the mighty. He is the hope of the poor, and the mouth of the wicked shall be stopped. Behold, happy is the man whom God punisheth. Therefore refuse not thou the chastening of the Almighty. For though he make a wound, he giveth a plaster. Though he smite, his hand maketh whole again. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, and in the 7th there shall no evil come to thee. In hunger he shall save thee from death, and when it is war, from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be kept from the evil tongue, and when trouble cometh, thou shalt not need to fear. In destruction and dearth thou shalt be merry, and shalt not be afraid of beasts of the earth. For the stones of the land shall be confederate with thee, and the beasts of the field shall give thee peace. And thou shalt know that thy dwelling place shall be in rest, and thou shalt go and behold thy habitation, and shalt not sin. Thou shalt see also that thy seed shall increase, and that thy posterity shall be as the grass upon the earth. Thou shalt come also to thy grave in a fair age, like as when they take up a corn sheaf in due season. Lo, this we ourselves have proved by experience, and even thus it is. Hearken thou to it also, that thou mayest take heed to thyself.